Well, my friends, today is Wednesday, and we're going to press that reset button because it's the middle of the week. In the world that we live in, it's always talk about hustle and bustle and get it done and get everything done quickly. You know, it's instant gratification, no waiting in the lines at McDonald's, and getting your food and getting it now. But there's something to be said about the slow pace of life. And because it's Wednesday, I wanted to share with you just a reset of the middle of the week. Take time and just do some things that you really enjoy. Simple living is not quite as simple as it used to be, but it doesn't have to be. We can still have a conscious effort to make our life more simple and more slow, but it takes an effort to do that. Enjoy the video. Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video. I'm going to just share with you a little bit what I'm working on. I hope this video brings you a lot of peace and comfort, and maybe it will inspire you to get out some of those projects that you wanted to work on for so long. I've had these products all winter long, and I really wanted to get working on them, and today we're going to do that. Now, all of my life, I did things haphazardly. I was always in a hurry because for me, I had so much work to do. At the age of 17, I got married, and by the age of 19, I had 3 small children. And so my whole life was somewhat what you want to call in a survival mode because I had to get things done. I never really embraced slow living until I reached my 50s. And with doing so, I realized that, you don't have to work so hard and so fast all the time. You can actually let your body catch up a little bit. So I've been enjoying all these projects and enjoying sitting down and living in the moment. It's really hard to live in the moment in a peaceful way when there's so much conflict and drama and trials and tribulations right outside your front door. But you can hold fast to the slow way of living, and I'm learning how to do that. It doesn't come naturally for me like it would for some people, but it's so rewarding. How is it rewarding? Well, one of the things I really noticed the biggest difference is I don't have panic attacks anymore. And while every once in a while anxiety would like to crop up, overall, I really have found peace inside my own heart and soul, and that's just by giving my body that chance to just sit down and take a break. Homestead chores are a lot of work. It is a lot of physical work, and it is a lot of effort putting into gardening and hauling water and laundry, and even though it's a simple way of living, it's not always that simple. But that doesn't mean that we have to work ourselves to death. That means that we can just have a time for everything and take the time to just enjoy the small things in life. I was sitting here working on editing, and I thought to myself, you know what? This would be a good video to put in what I would like to talk about. Because the title is The Reset. To reset your own button, that means many things in life. It doesn't necessarily mean just reset the physical button of your life. In other words, to take a slower pace. But I want to share with you experience I had this week and how I'm learning to take another type of reset, and that is the emotional reset. So let me give you a little backdrop. My whole life, I was taught to just not express my feelings. And so I lived in a home where we didn't express our feelings. In other words, we didn't express emotions. We didn't express how things make us feel. We always were supposed to hide those emotions and just squelcher them. Like we couldn't ever show those emotions. So when something was bothering us or something that we felt wasn't right, we were never allowed to share that. We just had to keep it inside. And so for me, my whole life, I did that. Well, this week I was faced with a situation where things were happening that I felt so uncomfortable with. And I had to reach out and I had to share my feelings with someone. And it wasn't easy because it was something that I never was taught to do. And I said to my husband, you know what? It's time I learn to share my feelings and give my feelings an importance. I was always so worried about what other people will think, or I don't want other people to feel a certain way. But then I was not being authentic to myself. And so I had to face something very hard for me, and I had to share my feelings to someone and my boundaries to that person. And while I won't go into specifics exactly what the issue was, it stems from my childhood and my adoption. And I got to the point where I really needed to accept my feelings and embrace my feelings and say it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have these desires, and it's okay to set boundaries in your life. Whether you have a friend that has come into your life and wanted to somewhat take over your life, or whether you have a situation where you felt like you needed boundaries. For me, I needed those boundaries, and it was very hard to set them boundaries, but in doing so, I found freedom. It's very important that we are in tune with our emotions and our body. It's very important that when things happen in our life that we accept them, embrace them, and we learn to work through them. And a lot of times that people who watch my videos, they do have anxiety disorders. And the number one cause of anxiety disorders is suppressed emotions and feelings, and not letting those feelings come to surface. And so a lot of us were taught with not sharing our emotions. And a lot of us were taught, just sweep it under the rug and don't acknowledge what our emotions are. So then we're not able to handle those emotions. And then anxiety develops, and anxiety turns into physical manifestations in our bodies. We physically feel the racing heartbeat, and we physically feel the sickness, because those emotions, if not tended to and understood, they will turn into physical. So why am I going into all this detail? It's because I know I'm not alone. And I know a lot of people who watch my videos have the hypersensitive personality. I understand and acknowledge that all those years I thought I was like one of the only ones. I thought, well, it's because I'm this, because I'm that. But I realized there's a lot more people like me than I ever realized. And so my journey on YouTube isn't just a journey of living in a 1963 double wide. It's not just a journey of living without proper plumbing. It's not just a journey on, my thrifty Thursdays and crockpot Wednesdays and cheap meal Mondays. My channel is about me in general and all of the things that I am learning. Homesteading isn't just the physical part of homesteading. Homesteading and simple living is a state of mind. And the state of mind is very important, because without your mind, your body will not work. Without your body, your mind will not work. It's two interchangeable things. And so what I want to express to all of you today is, if you are like me and you're super sensitive, if you are like me and you have these things and these issues that are bothering you, what you can do is start out by writing down your thoughts and your feelings. Writing them down, you are giving yourself that comfort, and you're giving yourself that time and energy to say, yes, what you think and how you feel is important, and you need to express that. And then eventually you might get to the point where you might have to share with someone else some things of your feelings. And if they can't support you in that, then they never cared about you in the first place. You see, I was always so afraid about what other people, I don't want to hurt other people, but yet I didn't care about myself. And I was hurting myself more than anyone. And I realized that there is a boundary between everything in life. What I'm about to say, a lot of people won't understand. but those people who are extremely sensitive will understand this. But we live in a world where people expect a lot of each other. We live in a world where people can be extremely selfish and want their feelings to be heard and understood. But I'm saying it's time in your life, if you are a super sensitive person and you've always hid your feelings, it's time in your life to be a little selfish about your own feelings. In other words, give yourself the love and the affection and the attention that you would give to someone else. And that is my recommendation. There is nothing wrong in saying no. There's nothing wrong in saying I don't feel comfortable in this. There's nothing wrong in saying that I need to step back and I need to take some time for myself. There is nothing wrong with that. But when you are a person that grew up, or you're a person that lived a highly sensitive life and you were never taught to express your own boundaries in life, this can be the most challenging thing that you have ever gone through. But in doing so, you will find peace and you will start understanding yourself. And in the long run, you will be a healthier, emotionally adaptable person than you ever were before.